Good morning, children. So, we were discussing the fill in the blanks of the selfish giant. In this video, I'm going to complete the question answers discussion. Let us straight move on to the question answers. I'm skipping the fill in the blanks as it was already discussed. Okay, so the first question here is, why do you think that the giant was selfish? Now, as we read in the chapter, the giant had come back from visiting his friend. When he came back, he saw that there were a lot of children playing in his garden and he did not like it. He did not like that there were other children who had entered into his garden and who were enjoying their time. He thought that the garden is only my garden and so children should not be playing over here. That is why he built a strong wall around his garden so that children could not enter. This is why he was selfish. Let's have a look at the answer. Because he didn't allow the children to play in his garden, he believed that the garden was only his garden. Okay. Now, what was the result of his selfishness? Now, because he had acted in a selfish way, he did not allow the children to enter into his garden. What happened as a result? Spring did not come to his garden that year. Flowers forgot to blossom. Birds did not care to sing. Frost painted the trees silver. So because the giant had not allowed the children to enter, spring came in all the other parts of the country that year, but spring chose not to enter the giant's garden. The giant's garden was covered with things like snow, frost, hail. So there was winter all over. There was no blossom in the tree. There were no birds singing in the garden. So his garden remained very sad, very cold for the whole year. Okay. Next question. When spring finally arrived in the giant's garden, why was one corner still occupied by winter? So, as you have read in the story, that after the giant realized his mistake, he realized that he should not not allow the children to enter into his garden. So he knocked down the wall with an axe so that the children could once again enter into his garden and play happily over there. But once he broke the wall and once the children entered, there was spring all over the garden. But there was one corner of his garden where spring had not come. That corner still had winter. So why was it like that? Why was that one corner still only occupied by winter? Let's see the answer. Because beneath a tree there was a small child who was too tiny to climb the tree. So that one corner of the garden still had winter because there was a tree in that corner of the garden, and under the tree there was a tiny boy who could not climb the branch of the tree. And because he could not climb the branch of the tree, that corner still had winter because the child could not get onto the tree. What did the giant do to restore spring there? Now when the giant saw this, that there was a boy who could not climb up the tree and that is why that part still had winter, what did the giant do to restore spring? That means, what did the giant do to make sure that spring touches that corner of the garden as well? The giant went downstairs, picked up the little boy gently and put him on the tree. So when the giant saw that there was a little boy who could not climb up the tree, he went downstairs into his garden, picked up the boy gently in his hands and put him up on the tree. When the giant did this, the tree at once broke into blossom and spring covered that part of the garden as well. Okay. Next question. Do you think the giant was sorry for what he had done? How can you tell? So, when the giant realized that he had done a mistake by building the wall around his garden, what did he do? What did he do to show that he was really sorry for what he had done? Let's see. Yes, he felt sorry. He knocked the wall down around his garden so that the children could play once again. So once the giant realized that it was only because he had been so selfish that spring did not come into his garden, so he broke the wall down so that children could once again come. This is what he did when he realized that he had been wrong in his actions. Next question. Why did the giant become angry when he met the little boy after a long time? So the little boy who the giant had put up on the tree in that one corner of the garden, after a very long time, after a long time had passed, this boy had come into the giant's garden once again. But when he came for this time, the giant was very furious. He was very angry to see the boy. So what exactly had gone wrong? Why was the giant so angry? Because the child's hands and feet had prints of nails. Okay, so giant was angry because he saw that the little boy, on his hands and his feet, there were prints of nails. Nails are, you will look up the meaning in the dictionary as well. For now, I'll tell you what a nail is. A nail is something that you hammer into the wall so that you can hang something, like you can hang a wall hanging, or maybe you can hang a photo frame, something like that. Okay, so something that goes inside the wall that can hold a photo frame or any other wall hanging. You will also look up the meaning of this nail in the dictionary. It is not the fingernail, okay, it is a different nail, the nail that goes inside the wall. Okay, so because somebody had hammered nails into the child's hands and feet, so he was bleeding. If somebody hammers a nail into our hands and feet, we will bleed for sure. Similarly, this little child who came to visit the giant after a very long time, he had prints of nails. So when the giant saw this, he was very angry. He got very upset because somebody had tried to hurt the little boy, and he loved the little boy. The giant loved the little boy. When he saw that somebody had tried to hurt the little boy, he got very angry and he really wanted to kill the person who had hurt the little boy. Okay? What happened to the giant at the end? So at the very end of the story, what happened to the giant? What was the end of the giant story? The little boy, symbolized as God, took the giant with him to his garden, that is paradise. So this little boy, the same little boy the giant had put up on the tree, he was actually God. He was Jesus Christ. It was actually God who had taken the form of a little boy and had come to the giant. So this time when the little boy, that is God, came to the giant, he took the giant with himself to his garden. What was the little boy's garden? It was paradise. Paradise means heaven. So it was the end of the giant's life, and the little boy took the giant with him to heaven. This was the end of the giant's story. Now, when I have discussed these question answers, the answers over here I have written in point form. These are not complete answers. So, when you write the answers in your English 2 notebook, you will follow the PDF. However, for a discussion of the story, you are going to follow this particular video that I have made. For writing question answers, follow the PDF, as the PDF has all the answers written in full sentences, in full paragraphs. Okay. Those who do not have English 2 copy, you can do it in your rough copy. Just make sure that you don't lose your rough copy. Also, after this, I have some questions from question bank over here. This I will also share a PDF. I have already shared the PDF with you. So, you copy it from there. Let's just take a look at the questions that I have for question bank. What are the things personified in the story? What made the giant realize his mistake? What were the wounds of love? Do you think that selfish people are always lonely and unhappy? This is an open-ended question. Why did the giant's heart melt? So, you're going to copy these questions in your notebook. However, you don't need to write the answers in your notebook. But for your own practice, you will look up the answers in your textbook. Thank you.